Hello, good evening and welcome to NTA Nationwide. My name is Kenan Emma Abodike. The All Progressives Congress in Gombe State has continued with its mobilization in support of President Muhammadu Buhari as it braces towards taking over from the ruling party in Gombe State. This is evidenced by the crowd of supporters who gathered during the commissioning of a joint campaign office for the president and one of the governorship aspirants in the state. Zara Umar Adamu has the report.
An unprecedented crowd of APC supporters defied the heavy downpour to celebrate the commissioning of the Yahaya Buhari campaign office, reiterating their unflinching support to the party in the coming elections. The two-time governorship candidate, under the platform of the then CPC and APC, Yahaya, also donated 15 Peugeot 406 cars and 114 motorcycles to the party. He explained that the exemplary leadership of the APC, especially at the national level, is enough for President Buhari to win the heart of every well-meaning Nigerian.
In Gombe State, 100% of the people are solidly behind the APC.
Yahaya, who took a rally around the state capital to solicit support for Buhari and APC, urged aspiring APC members to remain united before and after all primaries. Zara Umar Adam, NTA News.
Member representing Buhari Amak constituency, Zephaniah Bitrus Jesalo, has appealed to FCT residents to support the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari in his efforts to put Nigeria on the path of growth and prosperity. He started this during a tour to the 6 area councils aimed at sensitizing the people to support APC retain power come 2019. Aisha Obali reports.
The resident of FCT welcomed the member with open arms. The purpose of the visit is to drum up support for President Muhammadu Buhari and APC come 2019, while creating an avenue for empowerment. It was also a purpose-driven venture to educate the electorate and residents on their civic rights.
Now how to do this to mobilize our electorate, to educate them on where we should vote massively for the 2019 election, and all of them to come out so that we can vote the candidate of our choice. That is the essence of doing this program. And I'm also urging them to vote our president, Muhammadu Buhari.
The visit took the member around the 6 area councils, including Amak, Buhari, Kwali, Abaji, Kuje, and Gwagwalada. While there, Gisale urged the people to get their PVC in order for the APC to remain the ruling party in 2019. Some of the beneficiaries say they will rally and support Gisalo and ensure he wins the FCT senatorial seat in 2019.
At least from what he has done, nobody has ever remembered women like this, in terms of this, like this.
I'm advising them to work harder and keep firm and be campaigning for APC for 2019, a good result.
The Honorable Members Empowerment Program was concluded in Gwagwalada Area Council on the 3rd day, and among working materials distributed were automobiles, bikes, grinding and sewing machines, clothes, as well as cash. In Abuja, Aisha Obali, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has been described as a leader with integrity who has brought honor and pride to his state and the country. This was at the launch of the book on the leadership qualities of President Muhammadu Buhari, written by Nana Hawa Mohammed. Ifeanyi Ezumba tells us more.
The book, The Epoch-Making Leadership Qualities of President Muhammadu Buhari, is an account of the president, his leadership qualities, his personality, his charisma, and his spirit of fighting for what he believes in. The account comes in the form of a collection of testimonies and views of important dignitaries.
Mr. President has done a lot of things that some people have seen it worth portraying, and which is one of the things that Nana has done, and I think it's a good job.
Good leadership qualities. We are both bred in our families. We are both bred in our place of work. The country will work with all through.
The book reviewer, Omar Shuaibu, represented by Mohammed Zayano, said the author touched on some cardinal objectives of Mr. President, which he has been able to address.
When this government came aboard, they introduced a number of policies: recovery of looted funds, the whistleblower policies, and of course, the TSA.
Teachings from my parents and my upbringing made it easy for me to come to terms with President Muhammadu Buhari's stand against corruption, and he's projecting an image of integrity and honesty.
Nana had been a very great child, is a destiny child.
A word is even, I don't even know how to appreciate God for giving me such a wonderful daughter.
Another book, During School Hours, by the same author was also presented, as it is an 80-page narrative designed to encourage the youth to inculcate values that will make them good leaders in the future. Abuja, Ifeanyi Ezumba, NTA News.
The Alliance for New Nigeria has elected 8 executive council members at a maiden national convention in Abuja, with Emmanuel Daniel emerging as national chairman. Timothy Yusuf was there.
I shall be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Alliance for New Nigeria.
The new national chairman, Emmanuel Daniel, says the Alliance for New Nigeria is founded on the principles of transparency, integrity, and excellence. These principles, he points out, were responsible for the hitch-free convention which produced the national officers of the party through open ballot system of voting.
What we stand for in ALN, because we refer to ourselves as technocrats who are into politics, and so you hear the name tag, technoticians. We will go to every nook and cranny of this nation.
Other executive members of the party expressed readiness to embrace good democratic culture towards the sustenance of the nation's democracy. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Now, youths should seek to participate in politics and policy formulation of the government. These were the submissions of speakers at a youth symposium convened by Helpline Foundation for the Needy to commemorate the 2018 International Youth Day in Abuja. Patricia Philip Bodai has the report.
Speakers at the event say good education, provisions of jobs and employment, service and sacrifice to fatherland in the spirit of true patriotism should be the hearts of the Nigerian youths.
Get ready to run, build yourself, become that person that has solutions to the problems, understand the problems, understand the history, don't repeat the problems again, and don't let it be that when we do vote the youth's in, we're wondering why we signed the bill.
You as a Nigerian, your responsibility is not for yourself and your family, but for everybody else. Every single person in this country is your responsibility.
Youth have a lot of energy, and they must exercise this energy. You must engage them constructively.
Let them engage to believe, to become patriotic and sincere, to understand that your vote is not for sale.
They should not be discouraged. The future is bright, and this is the time for us to take over as the youth of this country.
A convener and president of Helpline Foundation for the Needy, Juma Amedu, urged youths to take advantage of the Not Too Young to Run bill and vie for political positions.
The electioneering campaign is so expensive for our youth to participate. So the various political parties should see how they can review the cost of picking participation form and the campaign itself, and most importantly, again, the youth should know the powers that they have, because politics is a game of number. Recognize the space that has been created, make positive use of the space.
Participants at the symposium also say youth need to be gainfully involved in the political processes to enable them participate actively.
All the youths come together, believe in one goal, and that goal is to make Nigeria progressive and united.
That we need to have an opportunity that being given to the youth to champion their own affair by themselves.
Safe spaces for the youth was the theme for the symposium, with a focus on creating and utilizing safe spaces for the youth towards the forthcoming general elections. Patricia Philip Wedai, NTA News.
The recent upheavals on the political terrain have had an impact on activities in the capital markets, with a decline in equities transactions and stock markets dropping to a 9-month low. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria, however, point out that other critical factors have contributed to the slump in activities. Dennis Adegunloye reports.
The capital markets, according to experts, did creditably well in 2017 with a performance level of 42%. And this was sustained in the early part of 2018. However, as was seen in 2014, the guests noted that the political intrigues witnessed in recent weeks have had their consequences on investor confidence.
Everybody wants to see what is going to happen to the economy in terms of the performances of the economy and the company. So quite a number of them pull out in the last few months, and that affected a lot of things. Of course, when foreigners pull out, some investors domestically may also want to hold on.
As a rational investor, especially these foreign investors, they are highly investment savvy, and because this is a market that's information sensitive, they want to sit on the fence and watch how the situation plays out.
They have emphasized that the heightened political activities are not
portfolio investors coming to this country will ordinarily leverage or arbitrage. That means they will borrow from their local economies at very low rate and come to emerging markets and get higher returns.
We have political tension, we have insecurity situation, all conspiring to scare away investors. And just as rightly pointed out, the local investors, retail investors, even the domestic, including institutional ones, tend to follow the head.
They equally listed free and transparent elections and political processes as factors that will sustain investor confidence in the country.
When politicians give you money so they can vote for them, they are making an investment, a financial investment, and they're going to recoup it. So if we do not create a level of awareness that people can either reject those monies or take those monies and vote against those who have given them those monies solely for the fact that the people are trying to induce them, then we're going to end up with situations where the government's ability to execute its primary responsibility will be diminished.
And ahead of the forthcoming general elections, politicians are urged to include as part of their manifestos concrete economic programs that will benefit Nigerians and not be truncated by electioneering activities. Dennis Adegunloye, NTA News.
You are on to Nationwide on the network service of Africa's largest television network, the NTA. Let's take a break. More stories when we return.
Hate speech is not a joke. It incites genocide and crimes against humanity. Most of Africa's civil wars are caused by hate speech from one tribe against another. We don't want it here. The Nigerian government stands firm against hate speech.
Under no conditions whatsoever should we tolerate or excuse or justify hate speech or hateful conduct of any kind, especially where such is illegal.
There's no doubt that the resurgent push for separatism, as well as the rising cases of ethnic and religious disharmony, are all traceable to the growing phenomenon of hate speech.
One nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.
Nigeria, one nation, one people.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
President Muhammadu Buhari in the face of the world, especially with dogged fight against corruption and
developmental strides is the thrust this week on NTA Tuesday Live. The program promises to be decisive and educative. Don't miss it.
HQ Barbers is an institution.
Your children are letting people leave without paying. Without idiots. I've been a good man after all these years.
A good loyal husband. To me or to the shop.
I want someone who will not just be my husband, but also be my friend.
But we're not friends.
What do you mean we're not friends? Customer service. Since when did sick people become customers?
What's happening here?
Benny Mama.
And stop searching. It's for lazy people. Then what should I have done? Slap the man and taking the money from him?
Yes!
Yes! You are under arrest for assaulting a police officer.
Pass me the remote. No.
True that, and there can be one.
Bon appetit, everybody.
Yes. Lord.
Fake news which is shared for malicious purposes is a danger to our peace and security in Nigeria. Misinformation as fake news is a serious threat to our hard-earned democracy and promotes hatred and misunderstanding between our communities. We are all responsible for stopping the spread of fake news in its tracks. So, always check the source and credibility of any news item. Say no to fake news. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information.
Thank you for staying with us on NTA Nationwide. Determined to further enlarge its financial inclusion agenda for all Nigerians, regardless of social class and economic status, the Buhari administration has launched a new initiative under the Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program, GEEP, called the Trader Money. A statement from Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity Office of the Acting President, Laolu Akonde, said the initiative will empower 2 million petty traders between now and the end of the year. The scheme, which was launched last week in Lagos, would grant a minimum of 30,000 loans in each state of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory. Altogether, the 2 million mark is expected to be attained on or before the end of this year, with petty traders in Lagos, Kano and Abia State set to be the first round of beneficiaries to draw the collateral-free loans. In addition to the 30,000 loans per state, states with larger population like Lagos and Kano are expected to get more than 30,000 loans. Across the country, especially in the pilot state, about 500,000 potential beneficiaries have so far been enumerated. In order to identify the beneficiaries, no less than 4,000 enumeration agents have been engaged by the Bank of Industry, which is deploying the new scheme. Trader Money is designed to help petty traders expand their trade through the provision of collateral-free loans of 10,000 naira. The loans are repayable within a period of 6 months. Under the scheme, beneficiaries can get access to a higher facility ranging from 15,000 naira to 50,000 naira when they repay 10,000 naira within the stipulated time period. The goal of the Buhari administration is to use the trader money to take financial inclusion down to the grassroots. The scheme will soon be taken to other states in the country, with Abia and Kano states next in line. The National Population Commission says it is poised to reawaken the patriotic zeal of Nigerians to register births and deaths with a view to enhancing effective planning and policy implementations in the country. Chairman of the Commission, Eze Durihoma, re-echoed this at the maiden edition of the Africa Civil Registration and Vital Statistics Day in Abuja. Olajide Bello brings us more.
With the theme promoting innovative universal civil registration and vital statistics system for good governance and better lives, the day is to increase public awareness on the importance of making everyone visible in Africa through a well-functioning data collection and management system.
Therefore, the maiden commemoration of the 2018 African Civil Registration and Vital Statistics Day is to brainstorm on innovative ways of improving civil registration for enhanced national development.
We have commenced the first migration from the hitherto manual method to full automation of our vital registration and data coverage processes. And this definitely will guarantee an enduring, complete, universal coverage of the country in no distant time.
It helped to create inclusive society, protection of human rights, ensuring proper delivery of public services, and tackling inequalities.
If we have a functional CRVS, we will have data on all the population dynamics: fertility, mortality, and migration.
A 5-year strategic action plan on civil registration and vital statistics was inaugurated at the maiden commemoration in Abuja on Olajide Bello, NTA News.
To people of Kogi State, River Niger has an abiding symbolism. In many parts of the state, the river means livelihood. It supports their agriculture, their transportation, and their source of drinking water. Hamisu Ruggle, on special assignment, captures areas which are underreported about the great river, but with potential to change the fortunes of the state and the nation.
Lokoja, the Kogi State capital at dusk. How much a landscaping beauty it is. This picture of Lokoja can compare with any global city we see on magazines that receive fortunes out of tourism. It is amazing how much Kogi gets. The potentials are there. The pictures speak for themselves. An ancient township accentuated by the eternal river Niger, way to the Atlantic. In Lokoja, where it linked up with the river Benue, it creates a landscaping masterpiece. Just thinking aloud, River Niger joined River Benue in Lokoja. They flow together from there on. Then why should River Niger alone take credit for the merger? That is by the way anyway. I had in mind to link up with the farming community on an island between Ida in Kogi State and Agenebode in Edo State. River Niger created the island. The story is that a group of farmers from Anambra, Enugu, Delta and Edo states form a rich farming culture there. They work in harmony and they know how to spend the night. I planned to spend a night or two with them. But when the boat people at Ida Riverside slammed a price for us, I skipped the transport. I deferred the trip to another time. As much as the island people, however, the people of Ibaji in Kogi State have similarly developed a rich farming culture, different from their neighbors. Again, it is a culture developed through having River Niger at their backyard. Well, this is River Niger in its days of glory during the rainy season around Itoduma in Ibaji local government area of Kogi State. But then I met the people of Ibaji, who I learned are farmers of no mean status. They produce cassava, yam, rice in large scale. And they have interesting story to tell because farming in this place is like a ritual. Across all villages of Ibaji, life is restless. Agriculture has taken over their soul. No one is left out. All day long, you are confronted by images of vibrant agriculture. The whole environment is under cultivation. No space is wasted. That is the story of this man who symbolizes what farming means to an Ibaji person.
If you don't go to the farm, they regard you as a useless person, as a lazy man. So once you are not a farmer, you are not doing something on the farm, no, Ibaji man will hate you till at the end of your life. But if an average Ibaji man, an elder sees you on the farm, he will even run to come and help you do the work on the farm.
Actually, Mr. Gabriel is a director in the local government here in Ibaji. He has to remove his toga and come and be a farmer, right?
Yes. I do. When I go to work, immediately after finishing with work, nothing holds me in my working place. I have to come immediately to my farm.
It is just wonderful the people of Ibaji are adept at rice, yam and cassava cultivation. They even have a local technology that allows the yam to be as big as a grown baby. They speak glowingly of the beauty of local rice too.
I don't buy rice from the market. And what is called foreign rice, no. We don't take it in Ibaji. It's even our own rice is by far better compared to this foreign rice they are bringing from Thailand, from anywhere. We don't buy it.
The good news for people of Ibaji is that the federal government is availing them with the fertilizer in adequate quantity and in time. This is in fact a long queue for collection of fertilizer at a point in the local government headquarters. Many of the farmers in Ibaji wish they had access to agric loan too and a good road.
Thank you, Hamisu Rogo. It is agonizing watching one's farmland and buildings being eroded away by forces of nature. This is the stark reality humanity has come to face. The government is taking the bull by the horns to bring this hydra-headed monster called erosion to its feet. However, is the federal government making headway in this battle? Mia Ogidi seeks answers.
Almost all the states in Nigeria face the challenge of gully erosion, though more pronounced in the southeastern part of the country. This disturbing situation caught the attention of the Okigbo Commission between 1979 and 1980, and the subsequent recommendation of Special Fund in 1981 through the Federation Account Act of 1981. The fund, which was initially 1% of the Federation Account, was reviewed upwards to 2% in 1991 and later 1% from the Derivation Fund, totaling 3%, and managed by the Ecological Fund Office under the presidency. This fund is shared among the three tiers of the government. However, the burden seems more on the federal government, as revealed by the demands from the states and the local governments.
States and local governments will also demonstrably apply their own share of the fund to ameliorate some of the ecological problems in their own areas.
Statistics from the Ecological Fund Office show that as of March 2018, about 2,890 ecological sites are seeking for attention at states and local governments across the country, estimated at 1.1 trillion naira, while the Ecological Fund Office gets only between 12 and 15 billion naira quarterly to address this overwhelming environmental disaster. However, the federal government from 2015 to date has carried out remediation of 88 ecological sites.
As we are going, almost every state of the Federation has benefited in one project or another.
There is, however, a ray of hope for more communities to soon benefit from the federal government's readiness on reclaiming lost land, as the Federal Executive Council on August 2018 made another heartwarming approval for 12 states to tackle ecological problems.
The sum of 12,104,882,000 naira was approved for 12 ecological projects.
Apart from the Ecological Fund Office, the federal government and the World Bank, through the Nigeria Erosion and Watershed Management Project, NUMAP, is partnering in tackling erosion problems in 23 states across the country.
Tackling the menace of erosion in the southeast is no doubt a Herculean task, but government intervention at some of the sites have paid all, and the benefiting communities have heaved a sigh of relief. Susan Eze reports on some of the projects completed courtesy of the ecological funds.
Not minding the ever-increasing number of erosion sites in the southeast, several erosion control projects have been successfully tackled in the zone, while many others are ongoing. One of such completed projects that caused the benefiting community to roll out the drums is the Gully Erosion Control and Road Improvement Project in Olo, Oji River Local Government of Enugu State. Funded through the Ecological Fund Office, the project was inaugurated last year by the Senate Committee Chairman on Environment, Senator Oluremi Tinubu. The project, according to the beneficiaries, has brought a new lease of life to the 3 communities that make up Olo.
If it was before, in this rainy season, you won't like what you see here.
And the entire Oji River are very, very happy, very, very grateful to the federal government and to the state government.
Also completed and inaugurated is the Phase 1 Obinago Akpo Enugueze erosion site in Udi, Enugu State. The State Commissioner for Environment maintains that governments are working hard to tackle erosion challenges across the state.
We are having some interventions, prompted by the states, some World Bank interventions and some federal government interventions.
Similarly, through the Nigeria Erosion and Watershed Management Project, New Map, about 3 intervention projects have been completed in Anambra State and others are ongoing.
On our own, we are beginning to change some of the practices that lead to erosion, like terminating drainages abruptly. We're encouraging the communities to plant trees, among other things.
The benefiting communities have remained grateful to President Muhammadu Buhari's administration for coming to their rescue. Susan Eze, NTA News.
Reconstruction of the Ahmadu Bello University in Kaduna State Farm Dam by the Ecological Fund Office has brought about an increase in agricultural activities in the university community and environs, in addition to the threats on social lives. This is the view of stakeholders who spoke on the impact of the project. Tina Toro reports.
Before now, the Ahmadu Bello University Farm Dam was a shadow of itself as it was taken over by Gully erosion. The devastation was such that farming and other agricultural activities were impossible in the community. The Ecological Fund intervention brought a turnaround.
So you can imagine what kind of irrigation, what kind of farming one can think of within the university. And being academic environment, there are a lot of teaching and research taking place.
The Farm Dam project is one of many projects carried out by the Ecological Fund Office across the country. The project, which was inaugurated in May this year, was reconstructed using innovations that will help sustain all year-round farming, boost tourism, and tackle gully erosion.
In the construction, a lot of effort was put in the spillway so that when flood comes, instead of overtopping the dam, it will pass through the spillway and go downstream.
Some farmers who spoke with Weekend File say the project has brought relief not only to the environment but in their socio-economic lives.
The project, because we can now farm on land we couldn't farm before. Before the intervention, the area was inaccessible, but now we can carry on with our farming activities, especially irrigation farming, as we now have enough water.
The Ahmadu Bello University Farm Dam has 363 hectares of farmland, which makes it strategic to economic stability and food security. Tina Turu.
Great relief came the way of a particular community in Osun State which had lived under horrible environmental conditions for more than 100 years. This was the story of Ponjo Afo community in Ifolodu local government of Osun State as the federal government inaugurated a channelization and drainage project for the people. Tunji Adepoju reports.
President administration, federal and state have been trying to find a means of solving this very long problem. But respite came in their way when the Ecological Control Office in the presidency came to their rescue by doing the erosion control and channelization in this area. The permanent secretary, Ecological Fund Office under the presidency, was represented by the Director of Special Duties, Mrs. Arniola Ladito. He spoke highly of the effort of the federal government in bringing relief to the people of this area.
Community to take it over and exercise ownership of the project. In the past, we had seen that projects that are executed by the office becomes no man's land. And when you go back there in months or years thereafter,
The federal government and everyone who made the project a reality.
The importance of the project to the community cannot be overemphasized, as it is expected to address the devastating effects of flooding and erosion menace in the community, as well as reduce the dangers to lives and property.
Those who are beneficiaries of the project are full of appreciation to the federal government and the state government.
Channelization and flood control project executed by the Ecological Fund Office under the presidency. From Pojo, Isalia 4, in the federal local government area, I am Tunji Adepoju.
Maiduguri, which is located on the north bank of the seasonal river Ngada, suffers recurrent flood and erosion devastation annually, causing various damage to its close surrounding. However, Pauline Kuje-Vanna in this report tells us how government's intervention 2 years ago changed the future of those residing around the river.
This is Madoganari bypass, known to be almost unmatterable and insecure for residents 2 years ago due to flooding and erosion. But now, it's one of the developed areas in Maiduguri as the ecological challenges have been brought to control. For instance, in Madoganari Police College, Rivers, Gadabul and Alo areas of the metropolis, the social and economic life of the residents were affected until the government put in place flood and erosion control structures such as gabion walls, drainage channels, stone pitching, dike to contain volume of water, as well as grassing and dredging.
Those two boys' quarters you are seeing was under threat. In fact, they were hanging. But fortunately, we came in to intervene and we rescued the situation. It would be local government, Kukurupu or Yelwa, and Shani local governments, where the township is every year threatened by flood and erosion. But today, it's a clear, free-flowing water.
This intervention has greatly brought relief to the communities which has suffered colossal loss and damages in the past.
Before we cannot stand here, no more eroded as before. And now we are grateful to the government.
The area now is movable. As you can see, some cars are moving into the area.
Actually, before you hardly found a single workshop that they operate more than 2 or 3 vehicles in a day. But with the development of the new road, we have more than 6 to 10 vehicles that you used to operate in a day.
Similar proposed projects by the state government are on the way.
You can see right behind me, at the side of the wall there are a lot of erosion as a result of the steepy nature of the soil. We will start taking care of these problems as you are seeing them.
Borno state government has keyed into the federal government and World Bank erosion and flood control project to check the menace. In Maiduguri, Pauline Kuje-Vanna.
Gully erosion and flooding are some of the ecological challenges bedeviling the people of Abuja. This recurring phenomenon necessitated the FCT Minister Mohammed Musa Bello to solicit assistance from the Ecological Fund Office to address the challenge. Shuaibu Yakubu was at the inauguration and handing over of the project. His report.
The problem of gully erosion and flooding in Abuja area council is an age-long ecological challenge facing the community that requires urgent intervention. The federal government, through the Ecological Fund Office, has embarked on a series of ecological intervention projects across the country. The completed Abuja gully erosion and flood control works is to permanently address the menace in the community. In the past, this particular spot used to be a nightmare for the people living around this area. But the story today is different with the completion of this very important project.
We are very grateful for this effort now. Thank you God to assist this government to transform the Abuja to a greater height.
At the inauguration and handing over of the project, President Muhammadu Buhari, represented by the FCT Minister Muhammad Musa Bello, advised residents of Abaji to make judicious use of the project by avoiding indiscriminate dumping of refuse in drains.
I congratulate you for this project, and I appeal to you to please maintain the project, ensure that it serves your community for a very long time. And I assure you the government of Muhammadu Buhari is going to continue with other projects here in your city.
Permanent Secretary, Ecological Fund Office, Habib Lawal, says the project was initiated after a request for an urgent intervention by the FCT Minister.
The commissioning and handing over of the project to the benefiting community is expected to achieve the dual purpose of enabling the host community to take overall ownership of the project and also to ensure its maintenance and sustainability.
Chairman Abaji Area Council Abdurrahman Ajia and the owner of Abaji, His Highness Adamu Baba Yunusa, commended the federal government for the prompt response in addressing the ecological challenge threatening the community.
This ecological challenge, which was handled with high level of professionalism and technical experience, is quite commendable. The people of Abaji will remain grateful to this gesture.
Baby, you pull over. Show me your particulars as I pull over. Yeah, baby, you pull over. It not like you as I pull over. Yeah, baby, you pull over. Baby, don't like to dance. Me, I like to dance. Baby, don't like to shake. Me, I like to shake. Oh, you want and I want to the center. You know you're looking for your matter. All I tell all the friends I guess. This kid I got my life so. Come on back.
Welcome back to NTA Nationwide. The presidency has described the performance of the All Progressives Party in the just concluded by-elections in 3 states as a good omen for the Buhari-Osinbajo ticket in the coming 2019 elections. At a press briefing jointly held by Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Shehu Garba Shehu and Laolu Akonde, said the outcome of the elections was an indication of the belief.
These election victories are a clear message also to the National Assembly that all Nigerians are interested in is for the business of government to go on. Nigerians are saying by this victory that they are not interested in the drama. They are not interested in the grammar, the subterfuge, and all of the games that are being played in the National Assembly. And I think that it is appropriate at this time then we appeal to the National
Public Relations Theatre Command Operation Lafia Dole, Colonel Onyema Nwachukwu reveals that the troops had misunderstood the essence of the redeployment and assumed it was going to affect their rotation from the theatre of operation, which gave rise to agitation. Theatre Command and appeals to the public to remain calm and go about their normal activities as the situation has been put under firm control with stringent measures put in place to forestall a reoccurrence. It's time now to bring you sports update.
"45 Nigerian athletes are qualified for the 2018 Youth